Hey Fuck Dragons, okay, I'm back. So I am gonna actually start this, well, I'm gonna film the intro to this reading vlog. So if you've not been following, I've been participating in the Amazing Readathon hosted by Brie from Four Paws and a Buck. I will try to link her below, but I'm sure you know who Brie is. So this whole leg, I'm actually filming this after I read the book, but this whole leg I've been reading for Beijing, which is you had to read a book with script on the cover. So I decided to pick up the very popular The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. And yeah, that's what I'm going to read for this vlog. It literally took me 5 days to read it. It is quite a hefty book, 500 pages. So yeah, that is what I read. I picked it up because I think like everyone that I've read like has really enjoyed it. So I was really curious to see my thoughts, especially since when I read Fourth Wing, I had similar thoughts, but not the exact same. And you'll have to stay tuned to the end of the vlog to see how I felt about this. But I vlogged the whole experience and pass, Laura, take it away. Hey Big Dragons, I'm back. It is Tuesday. I just want to give you some updates because I have a bunch of updates. I did wind up deciding that I was going to finish Extra Normal by Kate Alice Marshall, so I think I'm 74% into it. It's a 74% into that book. It's like a super short read. I'm really liking it. It's quite fun. It really does give me House on the Cerulean Sea vibes, like very much, but for like the middle grade set, and also like very much like a middle grade inspired mystery. But basically, you know, you have this main character who all her siblings are supernatural in some way, and it's very much like a found family dynamic. Her parents adopted them. Her parents work for the government. I think I said this. There's a new group of people that move into town, a new family, and she's very suspicious of them. Little does she know they are connected. They are not what they seem, but no one believes her for very specific reasons. And I'm just really liking it. It gives me House on the Cerulean Sea vibes, but it also gives me like a mystery of the week vibe, which I'm really liking. And it has like a found family element. Right now she's in a very precarious situation. She also has no powers, and I think that is a very interesting point of view to be in, because she has to rely on herself to save the day, and that's hard if you don't think you're necessarily set up for success. And her parents are gone, so it's very interesting. I'm really liking that one. I am going to switch over to the audio of Tessa Mahiro's No Hero, because I did wind up getting the audiobook. I bought it because I had a couple of credits on Libro FM, so I'm going to switch over to the audio, and I'm going to finish reading that this way. I have to read this for a blog tour anyway, but it also doesn't work for the prompt. I was hoping it would, but it doesn't. So the prompt of the book I'm going to pick up when I'm done with that is The Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, because it does have a lot of blue on the cover, and it does have a cursive title, which honestly was hard. Whenever these prompts dropped, I always think I have like a wide variety of books, and then the prompts drop, and then I think I have nothing. So, you know, it always happens. A lot of the prompts I'm finding for this readathon are all contemporary, and I read like so much contemporary. I'm trying to like give myself a break from contemporary, because I know the first week of school I'm going to read a bunch of it, so I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a break. So yeah, I'm going to read this, I think, hopefully. It's also pretty big, so it might take me a while, but then I have a couple of options for the second book I read. I normally do 2 books. I do like an actual read and then like a sightseeing book, so I'm going to read this one next. And then this will be my audio when I'm done with my current read, when I'm done with my Veronica Speedwell book. I also might pick this up. I might save this and just save it if like I need it for a prompt, because it is a really cute book. I just feel bad not reading for a prompt. That's really what it comes down to. So I may save this for the weekend and read it then. We'll see, because it's like a pretty quick read and just see if the prompt works. But I'm loving Extra Normal. I'm so happy that I got approved for an e-arc of it. I'm so happy I'm on a blog tour for it. So I'm gonna go finish that. And when I'm done with that, I'll give you guys an update, and then we'll start Serpents and the Wings of Night. This book I'm very worried about, because everyone loves it. Like, there has not been a single person that I've followed that doesn't like this book, and that was kind of the same for Fourth Wing. Like, everyone and their mother. The first round of reviews for everyone for Fourth Wing was really excellent and superb. Everyone loved it. And then I started watching other reviews, and people didn't like it as much. So I'm curious to see how I fall on this train and see how I feel. I also do have Carissa Broadbent's other book. But yeah, so I'm gonna go read that, and I will talk to you guys when I'm done with Extra Normal. Hopefully it's before yoga. That's the hope. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hey friends, I'm back. So I did wind up, thank you, puppy. Oh, she always comes when I film because she thinks I'm talking to her and I'm not. But I did wind up finishing, let me get you the exact title. I will attach like a photo at some point in this vlog because it's not out yet, and even my PDF is not like, it's not like a Kindle book, it's just like a PDF that I got from the company that I'm working with. But it's, okay, no, that's another book I might read. Okay, it is Extra Normal by Kate Alice Marshall. I gave that book 5 stars. It was a really, really quick read, but it had a lot of elements that I just liked. It gave me House on the Cerulean Sea vibe. It also is very much about found family. It just worked for me a lot. Like, I just thought it was a very, very quick read. It's probably a read that I will probably go back and reread at some point when I'm not like in a rush, because again, when you do a competitive readathon, you try to make sure all your reads count for something, and that book and another book I have to read at some point before the end of the month does not really count for anything, at least not right now. So, Cassie, you can't bite. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice. Sorry. She had a choking incident earlier today, so we are being very cautious with toys we're giving her, and the toy she likes is my wrist. But her other toy that she really likes, we had to get rid of it, and they think she's wants me to go play with her. Alright, can you stop for one momento? Alright, come here, sit. 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 Alright, so I am going to pick up Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is a behemoth. It is quite big. It is quite chunky. Almost 500 pages, which means I'm going to be flying when I get to Beijing, which is where we're going. Again, amazing readathon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. But you should definitely check it out. I mean, at this point, I think it's probably too late to join. But next year, if she does it again, I would definitely highly recommend it because it's really, really fun. Yeah, the only thing I know about this is it's a vampire. And you know me, if you followed me for so many decades, which you probably have not, or maybe you have, I don't know. Comment below if you followed me for a while since I started my channel. I always say that I have a really... Cassie, stop it! I'm trying to tell the people what the book's about, and you're making it very, very hard. So, I struggle with vampires. I really do blame Twilight by Stephanie Meyer because I hated it. I really hated everything that had to do with it. Like, I just despised the story. And since then, I've been very hesitant to pick up vampire story. But this is about a vampire. She's adopted human daughter, and there's a competition. And I think it's a hate to more romance, and I'm excited. It's a duology, so there's another book out, but then there's going to be like 2 more series set in the same exact world. I haven't read anything. People prefer this series to her other one with the red cover, Children, Daughter of No World. So I'm going to start this and see how long it takes me. I think I'm going to take her for a walk, which means I'm probably going to listen to my audiobook of my Veronica Speedwell. I have like 2 hours left, which probably is like an hour listening time. Okay. So I'm going to go take care of her, make sure she's content. And when I come back, I will give you an update. I'll probably read like the first part of this, which I don't know how much part 1 is. I don't even know. It doesn't know. It might tell me. But I'll figure that part out. I'll figure out when I get to part 1 and then, or part 2, and then I will give you guys an update. So I see that there's part 4, so I don't know when part 2 is, but I will, oh, interlude, part 2. There's only 40 pages. Yeah, so when I get to part 2, I'll give you guys an update, and that's how we'll do it. So yeah, talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Like dragons, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading the first 40 pages, basically like the first part in Serpents and the Wings of Night. I am really liking this book, and I always say that like Twilight ruined me for vampires because they were just so poorly done, and that was like the only series I ever read that had vampires in it that focused on them, other than like Harry Potter, like that one, like with Fenrir Greyback. But like I really have never really read vampires because I was so adamant I was gonna hate it. But then I read like Bloodlines and Vampire Academy, and I really, really enjoyed that. And then Cassandra Clare edited vampires, and I liked that. So I'm just a little bit selective in like who writes vampires for me because they have to be well done. But this is very compelling, and it right off the bat starts with found family, which is one of my tropes that I love. I love books about found family. So basically you follow this main character, and she's a fully human, but she kind of gets adopted by the vampire king of I don't know, one of the guilds. She gets like adopted, and she kind of, her parents are all killed, and she's kind of taken in to kind of like be with him. So she's like, oh, she's like kind of protected, but again, her simply being a human is like a risk. And she kind of spends her nights kind of killing other vampires that are going to take advantage of humans, because she of course feels bad about that. But there's a competition, I think it's called Naxia or something, or no, what is it called? Canaria, probably saying that wrong. That if you win this competition, you basically get to ask the person that made the vampires for a wish. And that's very, very interesting to her. So, and her stepfather wants her to do it, which I'm very intrigued by. So I'm about to enter part 2, but I'm very, very intrigued. The first like chapter, when she was like fighting and killing vampires, gave me Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes. I know it's going to be a hate to more romance, which I always say only works for me in fantastical settings. If you give me a hate to more romance in like any other setting, I hate it. But I like the main character a lot. I like that it's very, very focused on found family. There's a lot of found family elements to this story that are really, really working for me. And it's a pretty quick read. Like the world building I think is pretty easy to follow. I like that it's separated into like 3 series, like 3 like duologies, because I think I'll probably read it. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm always hesitant to read these because people don't love it. Like I may not love it as much as other people do, but I'm getting recommendations from like Peace Love Books, Tori from Novel Life, Eleanor Reads, and I think even Cassidy. So I'm really excited. So I might go for a bike ride because I did a really like hard workout yesterday and my legs are really, really sore. So I might do that because the puppy has to go get shots later, and I normally take her for like an evening walk, and I don't know if she's going to want to like go for a walk, but I definitely need to do something with these legs because they're really, really tight and sore. So yeah, that is my update. I will definitely update you guys when I get to part 2. Oh no, that's part 3. I don't know where part 2 is. Oh yeah, part 3. So I'll definitely read that when I read about 50 more pages. So yeah, I don't know, eventually the parts will probably get bigger. I'm probably just going to make this vlog about this because my other reading update was probably like just silly because it didn't really have anything to do with the Amazing Read then. I was just reading it to read it. I loved it though. I'll talk about that in my wrap up, but yeah, so 40 pages in, I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to read more, and that's what I'm going to go do. So bye. Friends, I'm back. Sorry, my glasses keep falling down my nose. But I just want to say it is Wednesday, yes, because I got my hair done. As you can see, it's beautiful. I wound up getting my hair done this morning. My dad is out for the whole day with my mom, so I'm watching the puppy. And yeah, I wound up getting up to part 3. I'm about to start part 3 in Serpent in the Wings of Night, and I have to admit this book is working for me on a lot of different levels. I said I don't like vampires, but I like these vampires. I also like that like we're 100 pages into this book, and they just literally just had like a serious interaction like the last like 20 pages. I hate books where like it's just insta-love. That's like, I don't like that, but I feel like because the way this book is structured, because it is a competition, it's being structured so well, and I'm just liking it. I love that there is a lot of combativeness between the characters, obviously because she's a human and everyone else in this game is a vampire, so she's automatically at a disadvantage, but she is the king's human daughter, so everyone knows who she is, and she has a big target on her back. And I'm intrigued. I like the competition elements. I think that it's very interesting, and I think that like because she's a human, the competition is going to be really interesting. It is single point of view. I'm curious if that does change. I like how the book is structured. I like the competition. There are really like so few side characters in this story right now, other than like the people that want to like kill her. So I wonder if we're going to get a few more side characters, just because I like a flushed out world, and right now the world is very, very insular. But again, it is like a competition story, so I do understand that. But I like how we're getting information about the world because she already knows this because she's in the world, and sometimes I struggle with books like that because I feel like I'm always at a disadvantage and the characters know everything and I know nothing. But I like how Carissa Broadbent is doing this. So I'm going to read to part 4, which will be read about 100 more pages, and then I'll give you guys an update. But so far, I think this is when the story is going to kind of hit, because now they're kind of forced into a situation where they're kind of forced together, which I like. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna go read a bit and I'm gonna go watch my YouTube videos. Again, I keep saying I'm gonna watch like TV, but this book is so chunky and I'm at the end of this readathon for Amazing Race. So the Amazing Readathon, that I really don't want to like, I want to read big books because it's good for my team, but then like I just don't have time to watch TV too. So Battleathon, I will definitely watch more TV. That's the plan. I'm not going to watch YouTube all the time, but right now that's kind of what I'm at. So, or unless I get like a really, really small book next. We'll see. We'll see. So I'm going to go make some progress on this. Right now I'm really, really liking it. So yeah, that says a lot. I may even like it so much that I may just read the sequel book soon. So we'll see. But all right, I'm going to go read. Bye. Hey Big Dragons, I'm back. I just wanted to do a quick update. It is almost 4 o'clock according to my watch. So I did wind up getting up to part 4 in Serpents and the Wings of Night. I'm really liking this book like quite a bit. I think it's just working for me. The vampires in this story are very, very different and it's a very, very complicated world. There's also magic in this world, and normally when I read vampire stories there is no magic, and maybe that's why like I don't like it as much. But it's just very captivating. The competition is like very, very compelling. There was like this past trial. I don't know if she has read HP in the past, but like this trial specifically gave me Harry Potter vibes. I know, whatever, but it just gave me that, like the trial element, especially one trial in particular. But I really enjoyed it. I think that the characters are all like the two characters that I assume is going to be the main love interest in this story are definitely have a combative relationship, but it does not scream insta-love to me. And maybe it's because they're in this competition, but we also got a pretty big secret reveal about our main character. I think his name is Rayon. So I'm probably saying that wrong. But she also has a very complicated relationship with her with her vampire dad, which I think is very captivating. There's also a new character named Misha, which I do like a lot. So there's a lot of elements in the story that are just working for me. And I'm liking it. Like it's very, very digestible. It's very, very readable. I think this world is very complicated, but it's also very easy to read. And again, I always say kind of when you're learning stuff that the character already knows, I think you can leave the reader behind sometimes, but Carissa's not doing that, which I do approve. And yeah, it was a really, really good trial. I really, really liked it. So very, very captivating. So I'm on 184. The next time you guys see me, I will be on part 5, which is like 265 pages. So that's actually quite a big chunk. So, yeah. So that's a bit more than I normally read, but maybe I'll come in like midway through. We'll see. But I do really like the challenge elements. I think it breaks the story up super nicely. I know that this is a duology and technically there's a novella that I need to read in between there. But it's not blue. So I don't know if that's going to happen this week. It may happen this week. We will see. But yeah. But I have to read that first. So yeah, I am going to go read a bit more again. I'm just watching YouTube. I'm going to be very real. I'm just watching a lot of YouTube because I can watch it as background noise as I keep reading. And especially when I keep choosing like massive books. That's sort of my plan for the moment. Just because blue has to win. So, and I think my next book is also going to be a fantasy romance if we have deciphered the prompt correctly or the clues. Brie, you're confusing us all, but we'll see if we're right. So yeah, this might just turn into a fantasy romance vlog. We'll see. But yeah, I am going to go read a bit more, and either when I get to part 5 or when I have something really imperative to tell you, I will update you guys. Bye. Hi, oh my God, I'm going to have to like do this clip like 17 times. My dog just does not want me to film right now. But I haven't updated you guys all day. I just wound up getting up to part 5 in The Crescent Moon, which is a section in The Serpents and the Wing of Night. The last section was really, really good. It's not a bad section. I just got distracted today. I was prep filming a lot of content for September because September is one of my busiest months when I teach. September and May are 2 very, very busy months for me. And I always know that I'm not going to have any content. And instead of like not giving you guys content, I try to prep film. And I love spooky season content-wise. So I love summer as a season, but I love content-wise like spooky season to kind of do stuff. So I'm prep filming that. I'm also in a readathon, so I'm prep filming that. But yeah, this book so far is really, really good. The last section we read, the competition element, was definitely, I think the competition element in all these sections is a lot smaller just because it's called that. but it's more about the training and the elements leading up to the competition. The dynamics definitely changed in this book, in this section, for a lot. There was a lot that happened. There was a lot of political stuff in here that also came to light, which I really liked. The magic system has also been developed a lot. There was a big change in dynamic, which I'm still not sure how I feel about it, because one thing happened that I was like, oh no, I don't want that to happen. But I am really liking it. The cast of characters is still super small. I think the cast of characters is going to get even smaller. But there also is a lot of political stuff in here that sorry, now she can open up doors, that I just really, really enjoyed. So I'm going to read another 100 pages, and then I will give it up to when I get to page 6. I'm also watching gymnastics tonight. It's men's national championship, which I really do like. Obviously women's gymnastics is my favorite, but I do like men's as well. So yeah, I'm gonna watch Yule Moldauer. Hopefully he wins, and I am going to go read, and hopefully my dog doesn't bite my wrist. That's the plan. But yeah, I will talk to you guys when I have an update. It might be tonight, it might be tomorrow, we will see. Bye. Hey friends, I am back. It is a little bit over at 8:30. Last night I stayed up all night, well not all night, but I stayed up pretty late and I watched the men's gymnastics competition. I have a new fave. Asher Ong is my new favorite. I know the least about men's gymnastics, but I do like gymnastics. I like all gymnastics. But today, Simone Biles, Suni Lee, I think Gabby Douglas, that's the rumors that I heard originally, that she was going to compete. I don't know, so we'll see, but I'm excited for those two. Brody Malone has had a really, really bad injury for the men, so he's not competing. If you know nothing about gymnastics, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you should all know who Simone Biles is, because she is a freaking phenom. And this is their nationals, so I'm really excited. And this nationals decides who's going to go to Worlds, which I'm really excited about watching. So yes, update on Serpents and the Wings of Night. I am 278 pages in and the prompt drop. So this is not a book I can use for that, because there's not a directional word in this title. There's also not a place in this title. So that means Laura better get reading. So I'm going to go get reading. I really haven't read anything else. When I get to the end of this section, when I get to part 6, I will give you guys a solid update. But honestly, gymnastics took over my life yesterday, and yesterday was really not a reading day. I also spent my morning doing a few things for school. Check out my summer reset, my summer reset vlog when I prep for fall, when I talk a lot more about that in detail, because it's just a very, very long, convoluted story. Not really convoluted, but it's going to be in that vlog. But yeah, all right, I'm going to go read about 100 more pages of this, and then I'll give you a chime check and a reading update. Bye. Like dragons, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update and a time check. It is 12:08. So I did wind up kind of assessing my reading weekend, because this book is massive. So I hope to finish this book today. I actually have I have something I'm doing later at 8. I'm gonna watch the gymnastic competition, and I like to watch it live. And I never read during those, especially because I love to listen to the commentary. So I'm on page 362 in Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I'm really enjoying it. The last section gave me Mortal Instruments vibes. Like, a certain scene happened and I'm like, ooh, I like that. And I think the reason that this book is working for me is it never was insta-lovey, and that's normally how I feel when I read vampire books, like Twilight. And a couple of others that I read in the past. Like, the relationships always feel insta-love because it's like fated mates. And I don't really like fated mates, but this is not giving me those vibes. And the court elements are definitely becoming more prevalent in the last couple of sections, which I am enjoying. The competition is really unique and very different. I think it's also a very, very interesting world, and I'm curious to see like what happens in the future duologies, because I'm a magic girl. You give me a magic system and I'm going to love it. So there's also a couple of side characters that I'm really enjoying, and I'm wondering if they're going to get future books. But I'm just really, really liking it. Like, I think it's a fun, quick read. Very, very digestible. And it does have some steamy moments. There was a scene that gave me a certain scene in Simon's life in Shadowhunters. I'm not going to spoil it because it's going to spoil a big part of that book. But there was an element that I really, really liked in this. So, it is 2 o'clock. I have started thinking about my weekend TBR because the prompt they gave us was a bit tricky. So I'm gonna kind of assess that, but my goal is to read another like 100 pages, and then I'll give you, oh no, there is a part 6. Oh, I do actually have to get to the next part of this. Okay. Yeah, so when I There's actually one more part. Okay. So when I get to part 6 of this, I will give you guys, like, part 7 of this, I will give you guys another update. I didn't realize that there was one. So when I get to that, I will give you guys, and that will be my final thoughts before I read the tail end of this. Hopefully it's not too late, but we will see. I also think this vlog is going to be a little bit on the long side. I think it's probably only going to be this book because this book took me a while. And I'm still trapped in Beijing, and I have to get out of Beijing so I can read this weekend because I don't want to be behind on the reading challenge, and I really don't want to use my fast forward unless I have to. So yeah, that's where we are. But the prompt for the next one, we'll talk about in the next vlog, was a bit tricky. I'll be honest. It was not as easy as I was hoping. All of these prompts have been a little bit challenging. I'll be very, very honest. But fun. Super fun. So yeah, all right. I'm going to go read the the next 100 pages of this, and then I'll give you guys an update. But so far, I'm really enjoying this. I think the end will kind of decide if it's a 4 or a 5-star read. But I definitely think it has elements of what I liked in Fourth Wing. But I feel like her writing style is very, very consistent, and I think that, like, I feel really connected to the characters. All the emotional moments are really, really fleshed out. I like the structure of the book, and it does have elements, like Fourth Wing also had competition like elements, but like hers had a lot of flash forwards that I think didn't work as much for me, and I didn't feel as connected. But these characters I really do like, and I think it's a very, very complicated story, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna go read another 100 pages, and then I'll give you an update in terms. It's also raining like crazy, so I don't know if I'm gonna get to go for a walk with the dog, but if I do, I'll probably pop in my audiobook. It's like a quickie. It will be like a 4-hour read, but it also has to work out. So I'm gonna try to read another 100 pages, and then I'm probably gonna work out. But yeah, that is my plan, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hi Big Dragons, I'm back. It is almost 4:30, so I have to start to investigate some dinner. But I did wind up getting up to the last section, part 7 in my book. So this section was wild. Like wild. A lot happened in this section, and again, I always should have expected, like, I really grew to like this, the male lead in the story. I just did. I thought that him and Oriya had a really fun dynamic. I think that Oriya's relationship with her dad was really interesting. This last section blew everything up. Like, it just blew the whole situation up. It was very, very good though. I could have sort of seen one of the elements at the end kind of coming, but I'm curious to see how this book winds up. I only have like maybe like 30 pages left, so I'm gonna go investigate some dinner, see what I want. And yeah, I'm really liking it. I think that, like, kind of when you go into a romance series like this, there's always a third act element, especially in fantasy, that you can kind of predict. So, but I really like the world. I think the world is very digestible for a fantasy newbie, and that's what I call myself. Like, I read a lot of YA fantasy, but the high fantasy always kind of scares me, but this is very digestible. I really want to read her other series too. I know it doesn't get not enough love and attention, but this is one that I really do like. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some dinner, see what I'm in the mood for, and then I am going to go finish this off, and then I'm gonna film a starting clip for this because I forgot to do that, which has never happened, but this is the first time I've filmed that. And then I'm gonna kind of pick my TBR for the weekend. I'm also gonna kind of look at like what the prompts are and stuff like that, because there's a couple of things I might want to read, just like depending on that. So yeah, I have like some thoughts about that. But yeah, I'm gonna go read the last bit of this. Also, gymnastics starts at like 8, so whatever I read is probably gonna be until then. And then once I'm done with this, I'm gonna start pick a TV show to watch. That will be really, really exciting as well, because this was a monster. And then all the other books in the Amazing Readathon are probably gonna be smaller, unless I get a prompt I could use for Fall of Arden Room by Jennifer L. Armentrout, because my friend wanted me to send that to her, and I just haven't had an opportunity, or Little Thieves. Those are the 2 books I would love to read by the end of the year. I mean, the end of the month, but I don't know. Also, I was just watching Leandra's from TBR Zero, her video, and I got a TBR tag to do. I mean, she didn't tag me, but I'm gonna tag myself. And yeah, so yeah, that is my plan. I'm gonna go eat, finish the rest of this, and then give you guys my thoughts and see when I'm gonna pick up the sequel. That's just really the question, because I really do want to know what happens, so that might happen sooner rather than later. I might go download it and go return one of my older books. But yeah, I definitely think the character in this really, really worked for me. I think she was a fun character. I think the romance was slow burn enough for me that it worked. Definitely hate to more elements. The only thing I wish that this story had was a few more characters, just because I feel like it was a very like tight story. It reminds me of when I read Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. That had a very, very small cast of characters, and the only other character the only other two characters we got to know, I don't feel like they really, I mean, they were interesting, but I feel like it very much was a romance. So we didn't get to see a lot of other characters. And that's my only thing about this book, that I wish it had a little bit more depth to the world. But that's just me being picky as a reader. So yeah, I'm gonna go get something to eat and then I will check in with you guys. Bye. Hi Book Dragons, I'm here to wrap up this vlog. I just finished Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Bradbury, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. I think this is a very, very well crafted world. I think the characters were fun. I think the world building was great. I don't think it hit you over the head. It had a lot of elements of the story that I liked. I think I loved Oriya as a main character. I love the competition elements. I love the slow burn nature of their relationship. I just felt like character-wise, for stuff I can't really talk about because it will spoil like 2 big parts of this book, there wasn't a lot of characters in this story. And I struggle with insulated stories like that because I feel like as the world was great, we had a couple of side characters that added dimension to the story, but it just wasn't enough for me. So world building wise, it was great, but characters other than the main, especially because this was only in Oriya's point of view, we didn't get any other side characters. The world felt a little bit lacking character-wise. So I gave it 4 stars. I definitely want to pick up book 2. I definitely want to read other series by her, but I've always struggled with that, and that's just me as a reader. I know people have loved it. The romance worked for me. It was definitely slow burn. I think that it is a romance that I would like because it's a slow burn element. Some of the predictability kind of was lost on me a little bit. Like I saw the minute it was revealed, I'm like, oh, obviously a lot of things kind of clicked into place, but I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, and now I'm gonna go start my next reading vlog. Let me know in the comments if you've read this. What were your thoughts? Do you think it's the best book of 2023, or did you think it was okay? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys soon.